and I'll give you a quick background. Last Thursday night, I reported to a scene of an accident. A video of that accident scene is online at our website at www.indiancountrynews.com to view. And a police officer from the county sheriff's department here left the scene of the accident, crossed the road, came onto the area that I was standing off of the road away from the scene, and demanded that I get out of the scene. When I indicated to him that I was a member of the press and said he didn't give blank who I work for, grabbed the video, which is a video recorder high density like this, which we take our still frames for the newspaper out of nowadays, and then struck me with a flashlight. Most of this is recorded on the video because he didn't take it away from me. And the Sawyer County Sheriff's Department has been cooperating with the investigation real well, actually very openly.
That's good to hear.
But the question is what, from my perspective as a member of the media, anyone has a right to cover and take pictures and view public servants on public highways at public events. And a member of the press, I think, has additional privileges from that might have circumstances surrounding them that need to be worked with. What is your understanding of the press privilege in particular of a reporter to access a scene of an accident? In this particular case, one which was calm, collected, the epitome of tribal cooperation, EMTs, everyone's doing until an officer decides that I don't want this man on the scene recording the event.
Sure, I'm not familiar with these exact circumstances. It wasn't brought to my attention before now, and I can't comment off the cuff specifically on the legalities of given situations. I do know that it is going to be circumstantially dependent to some degree. Obviously, law enforcement has the authority and ability to control a scene, to preserve the integrity of the investigation, to protect privacy, to make sure that they can adequately do their jobs, and the extent to which that is strictly limited, the parameters that they have to work within, the legal parameters I couldn't recite right now at all, and it's going to vary from case to case, so I couldn't necessarily comment on your parameters either, but they certainly do exist, and if you would be interested, my office could certainly maybe at least give you a quick letter brief or a letter opinion just saying, from our perspective, just here's a rough idea of the laws that apply and kind of where the wiggle room is, just to give you some guidance and some starting point, if that would be helpful.
That would be helpful. What I'm wondering is whether there is written policy because, for example, I believe that there's nothing that prohibits a news reporter from taking a photo of a severed head or a burning body. The issue of sensitivity and whether or not that would even be played is another question, but I've never seen anything written in law that would say that somebody doesn't have a right to cover that. Certainly the bridge collapse in Minneapolis is a situation where law enforcement couldn't go out and make sure that everyone wasn't recording and taking pictures of the events that occurred there. And there's this, again, the right for the public to know what their servants are doing. And in fact, some law enforcement agencies are now doing recorders essentially to protect from the opposite claims kind of a situation. And in some communities, law enforcement and media have actually initiated discussions in which there are press privileges that are pre-established that allow them access into a limited access site, which then allows them to take photos. I've been doing this for 30 years. I've been asked to step back 50 feet or 100 feet at times by law enforcement officers, but I've never been assaulted by a deputy before.
No,
and so it's a little bit different situation.
Sure.
So some kind of guidelines, some kind of understanding. When I've inquired here in Sawyer County, each law enforcement officer that I've asked the question, what is the policy, has given me a different answer about what they think the law should be. For example, I was told, well, you can't photograph people who are deceased. And I said, well, is that written down? Someone said, well, a law enforcement officer has a right to declare 1,000 feet parameter around a car accident. Well, to preserve evidence, I understand that, but I've never heard that there was 1,000-foot parameter around a car accident which a reporter could approach. So my question is there something?
Sure, and I understand the question, and that's what we can try to give you some guidance on, because I guarantee you that there are often competing interests, and the press doesn't have unfettered access and authority to do certain things. For instance, we have a multidisciplinary office in the Department of Justice. We do more than just law enforcement. We do so many different things that frequently we balance those competing interests right within our office. I understand the right of the public to be able to know what's going on, but you sometimes have to balance that with protecting the privacy rights of victims or victims' families, balanced with making sure you preserve the integrity of an investigation, and they all balance out. It's something that I had to very delicately try to balance, for instance, in the horrible Crandon tragedy, because we handled all aspects of that. And so there is the ability within the law to balance those things and restrict certain things. Exactly how far the legal parameters go, once again, I can't recite now, but we can try to get back to you with that if you provide us with a card or something.
We'll do that.
Okay.
I did